My friends, we're going to do another Metallica episode. Stick around. Written by James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and Kirk Hammett, Escape is the sixth song off Ride the Lightning, and one of only two songs on the album not to have leaked isolated master tracks. Let's get started. So this is Escape Re-Remastered, the typical rundown, the unaltered remaster ripped from CD, duplicate track right here, enhanced bass. It's got this ride bass 3 and 4. We'll get to that in a second. Right here, this is not the Cliff Burton isolated bass track. This is what I used from Moises, which is the track separator app, and I got some pretty good results. This right here we're going to come back to later. Seen any of the episodes from season 1, Kill Bass 1 and 2 was what I used to bring out the bass on Kill 'Em All. This is ride bass 3 and 4. They replaced ride bass 1 and 2. There's more bass on Kill 'Em All, so ride bass 1 and 2 had to be different to bring out the bass on Ride the Lightning. But this is ride bass 3 and 4, and the reason is this. I had the slopes on ride bass 1 and 2 set to here, so I just basically brought them back to around here. When you have the slopes set at max, it creates just rumble, and you can't really tell the difference between bass and rhythm guitar, or kick drum and bass. So to have better, cleaner equalizer enhanced bass, this was what I did. With 6 of the 8 songs on Ride the Lightning having isolated bass tracks, I didn't have to use ride bass 3 and 4 as much as I did as Kill Bass 1 and 2 on Kill 'Em All. And this particular ride bass 3 and 4 is customized. It's different than the one you hear on the rest of the album. Again, you won't hear it too much, but this one has a high-pass filter set at 40 Hertz. It's tailor-made to the key of A because that's where Escape lives. And let's just give it a little listen. This is what I was going to give you for Escape. The bass is a little bit up. It's not super clear and audible like if I were to have an isolated bass track. Again, this song doesn't have one, but the remastered album itself sounds like this. You can still kind of hear Cliff. Again, Fleming had that gift for keeping Cliff in the mix, but not enough till you could hear what he was actually playing. But you could always hear his right hand. But the real breakthrough was Moises. Let's just take a look at Moises real quick. So that got me started. I had to set the vocal and drum and guitars at 1 and the bass at 100 to get it to sound like that. That's the sweet spot where you can still kind of hear what Cliff's doing. But let's get into the real nuts and bolts of what this song actually has. The problem with the Moises app is the track separator AI uses a phaser to separate the tracks, and that phaser creates volume spikes, and those increases in volume make the song almost impossible to mix. You have to automate those spikes out or you won't get to hear the detail of the bass part. Show what I'm talking about. I've turned the automation lane off here so that you can hear these spikes. Check this out. That volume increase right there will create blood. It'll create red, which is basically clipping on the master track. You don't want that. So to combat that, I went analog again. So this is the Empress bass compressor pedal. Some say it's as close to a rack compressor as you can get in a pedal because it has an analog circuit. This is another laptop to play the isolated bass stem from Moises. Let's hear it real quick. Running out of the headphone jack on a stereo to mono cable into the Empress compressor pedal, ultimately on my interface to be recorded. Those red LEDs are the volume spikes being pushed down to the same volume as the quietest part of the song, and the green LEDs are the makeup gain, bringing the quietest part of the song up to be as loud as the volume spikes, allowing you to hear more Cliff. Pretty cool. So now that we have the Moises bass stem run through the Empress compressor pedal, there's no need to use the previous stem with its volume spikes. It's on mute. I'm just going to solo what it sounds like through the Empress compressor real quick. Again, is it as good as having the isolated bass track? No. Can you hear everything Cliff plays? No. But you can get the gist of it and you can boost it. And that's what I did. I only really automated it in 4 places. There's some octave fills that he does that I thought could be a little bit louder. I tried to bring those out on the recording. Other than that, he pretty much doubles the rhythm guitar for the entire track, and the rhythm guitars and the bass kind of blend together, so it's very difficult in places to tell what's what. But all together, it sounds like this. Further up the track here. And over here. I love that bass fill right there. Very cool. And then I faded it out sooner because it picks up drum noise at the end, so it fades out before the song does, but I think that's fair. Alright. And this is the finished product. I ran the bass stem from Moises through the Empress compressor one more time because it was overly compressed, and that's why I was getting the drums at the end. So I dialed back the compression a little bit, and the drums no longer kick up at the end, allowing me to fade it out when it's supposed to fade. Also, I could not get the high stuff Cliff was playing without Ride Bass 3 and 4, and I couldn't get the low stuff Cliff was playing without the Moises bass stem, because if I tried to boost it on the equalizers, you'd get a lot more kick drum and rhythm guitar rumble that we don't want. So I'm going to play you a few seconds of it. And you'll notice the other tracks are gone. It's all cleaned up and pretty looking. But I'm going to burn this to FLAC, and I'm going to upload this episode and the song right after this. And now, our moment of guitar architecture. Escape is your traditional Metallica song with James on rhythm guitar left and right, Lars in stereo, and Cliff and Kirk in mono. No extra harmony guitars or basses occur in Escape, making it your type A good old-fashioned Metallica song. And now it's time once again for the In-Album Lifeline segment, brought to you as always by Fresh Produce. No, not the brand, the concept. Eat your fruits and veggies. In this segment, I always ask the question, would I trade? There are 6 songs on Ride the Lightning that have isolated bass tracks. The 2 that don't are Escape and The Call of Cthulhu. With regards to Escape, there is no isolated bass track. The question is, would I trade? I love Escape. The lyrics of this song helped me out when I went through something very traumatic. But that said, it is the last song they wrote for the album to have an additional song on the album. And given the other 7 songs on the album that it's up against, I would have to say the verdict is I would not trade to get Escape, an isolated bass track. Now I will just sing. Escape is done. Creeping Death is next. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is the Metallica Re-Remastered series. Stay tuned for more. Hey, yo, my friends. We're going to do another Metallica episode. Stick around.